Piotrze, do you like to open next? Okay. So I would like to introduce Professor Ryszard Pałka and Andrzej Demenko, who will be our chair of this session.
Thank you very much.
Zmieniać jest tu, to w razie czego...
A co ja mam przerzucać?
To znaczy do prezentacji, to...
No. Ja mam tę kartkę. Raz, dwa. Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? We will continue our conference. In this session, we have just 2 or 3 lectures. The first one, the beginnings of 3-phase alternating current technology in Poland. And the speaker is Ryszard Łukaszuk. Mr. Łukaszuk, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Professor Pałka. Good morning, everyone. My name is Ryszard Łukaszuk. I'm a PhD student of the Pomeranian University of Technology in Szczecin. I'm an active member of the Association of Polish Electrical Engineers, member of the Central Historical Committee, and vice-chairman of today's conference. And I'm pleased to present a lecture on the topic, the beginnings of 3-phase alternating current technology in Western Poland. Our presentation plan, you can see right now on the screen. I'm going to talk about the first electric power plant in Szczecin of direct current, about Nowogród Bobrzański, Zabrze, Chorzów and Szczecin. Well, let's start with the first slide on the history. The first direct current power plant in Szczecin. The first direct current power plants were built and then opened on October the 1st, 1889. And the initiator, the pioneer of electrical engineering in Szczecin, was a mechanic, Ernst Kulo. He was also the first to build the first non-public, not public, but private DC power plant in Szczecin, which was located in the city center at the corner of today's Kujawska and Wyzwolenia Avenue, right near today Galaxy and Pavim buildings. So we can see on the slide 3 photographs. On the left is the second public power plant from 1882, and on the right there's the very first public power plant at today's Storady Świętosławy Street, formerly Francywische Straße. And at the bottom we can see Ernst Kulo, pioneer of the electrical engineering in Szczecin. Now let's move on to the next slide. So in 1890, the company Stettiner Elektrizitätswerke, so Szczecin power plant, it would be in English, Szczecin power plant, was established, taking over properties and service obligations to the municipality from Ernst Kulo. Long-term contracts for 30 years were signed with direct current power plants with severe penalty for termination. And that's the reason why the AC current could not be introduced really quick in Szczecin because of these penalties. And the growing demand for electricity in our city led to the emergence of new independent small power plants serving individual factories and various districts. So I have already mentioned that the first private power plant was located in the city center, and I'm going to talk about it later. And at the bottom we can see two figures. On the left we can see annual energy consumption per capita in selected cities. Beginning from the left, we have Szczecin, Copenhagen, Wrocław or Breslau, and Stockholm, and energy consumption in kilowatt hours. And on the right, there is an image of interior of the substation in today's Świętego Ducha Street. Now let me introduce the topic of the cradle of three-phase, Nowogród Bobrzański. It is a city in today's Lubuskie voivodeship in the south of our West Pomeranian voivodeship. So the first three-phase electricity in the today's borders of Poland was generated from a hydroelectric power plant built on the site of an old mill on the Bubr or Bober River in Nowogród Bobrzański, formerly Naumburg-am-Boba. The first overhead transmission line with a voltage of 10 kilovolts and a length of 25 kilovolts was constructed from the already mentioned Nowogród Bobrzański to Zielona Góra, then Grünberg in Schlesien in 1895. Let's take a look at the image on the right. This is the hydroelectric power plant on the Bubr River, built by Hermann Wallmann on the site of a former mill. I have to admit that certainly our colleagues from Zielona Góra will provide detailed information on the Nowogród Bobrzański and on the pioneering first three-phase electricity power plant. Now let's take a look at the following slide on electrification of the Upper Silesian Industrial District. So we are moving to Upper Silesia right now, to the south of Poland. The electrification of Upper Silesia took place during the pioneering period of the power industry's development. So in the then province of Silesia in Germany, electrification initiatives were at first led by municipal authorities, example giving Wrocław, Breslau, or large industrial enterprises. After the launch of the Berlin power plant in 1894, Allgemeine Elektrizitätsgesellschaft AEG began preparations for the centralized supply of electricity to the Upper Silesia, selecting Chorzów, then Königsbrücke, and Zabrze as key locations. The design of both plants was consulted with Michał Doliwo-Dobrowolsky. It's important to note that. The first electricity flowed from the Zabrze power plant in late 1897 and from the Chorzów power plant in May 1898. Both power plants generated direct current to supply the interconnected tram network of the Upper Silesian urban area. It's important to note, worth mentioning, that the tram system of Upper Silesian urban area exists to that time and is one of the largest in the world and probably the largest in Europe. And so both power plants, and they generated, apart from direct current, also alternating current intended for the general distribution network. So we can say that these were hybrid power plants because of production of direct current and alternating current simultaneously. And the total capacity of both power plants was 1,7 megawatts. On the right, please take a look at the picture with the Chorzów power plant from 1898. On the next slide, we can see Chorzów power plant, more detailed information. For the construction of one of the power plants in Chorzów was triggered by the need to supply electricity to the tram line. The plant was commissioned in 1899 and was powered by direct current. The power plants built by AEG were later taken over by Schlesische Elektrizitätswerke, Filevian electric power plants. However, the company's supervisory board still included AEG's general director, Emil Rathenau, who held a majority stake. An example of an industrial power plant is the Huta Królewska power plant or Königshutte power plant, which, after its expansion, also began supplying electricity to the city of the same name from 1898 to 1911. And on the right, a historical document, an OEB price list from 1902, and at the bottom, Chorzów power plant and first steam piston machines with direct current generators of 280 kilowatts. We are moving to Zabrze right now. It is not far away from Chorzów. So the location of the power plant was chosen due to its proximity to coal mines that produced fuel waste in the form of coal dust. The plant was equipped with machines generating alternating current, 6 kilovolts, for the general consumer network and direct current, 600 volts, for the tram network. A modern solution was implemented in the form of a cable network with the 6 kilovolts voltage used for energy distribution. The first electricity in Zabrze was delivered to consumers on December the 21st, 1897. And the growing demand for electricity led to the expansion of the plant. The initial capacity of 280 kilowatts increased to 1,3 megawatts after the installation of the first steam turbines in 1906. And on the right, at the top and at the bottom, we can see two images of power plant in Zabrze in the 19th century. Coming back to Szczecin and its power plants, I would like to provide you with information about transformation from DC to three-phase AC power in our city. So the growing demand for electricity, example giving lightning, electric trams, the rapid increase in copper prices by 70% in 1887 and over 100 the following year, the limitation of direct current transmission to short distances, and the large number of coal-fired power plants that made urban life difficult, all contributed to the search for a more efficient energy transmission solution. I would like to mention here another time the first electric power plant in Szczecin. It was a private power plant with DC power, and it supplied only a few buildings in the vicinity, and was not suitable to serve more facilities, more people with electrical energy. So the mayor of Szczecin, Friedrich Ackermann, asked Professor Erasmus Kittler from Darmstadt, whose previous student and colleague was Michał Doliwo-Dobrowolsky, for an expert opinion on the possibilities of using three-phase current in Szczecin. So the transmission from direct current to three-phase alternating current was particularly challenging, as we already said, due to the costs associated with contractual penalties. And on the right, please take a look at Erasmus Kittler and Friedrich Ackermann. Continuing the topic of Szczecin, based on the City Council decision, a plan was undertaken to convert the power plant from DC three-phase to three-phase AC. The reconstruction of the already mentioned Storady power plant or Französische power plant was completed in May 1912. Among the three-phase power system pioneers in the Pomeranian region was also Xaver Meyer, who was honored in 1916 with the title of Doctor Honoris Causa from the Darmstadt University of Technology for his contribution to electrification. And at the bottom we can see a substation with a switchgear located on Świętego Ducha Street, formerly Heilige Geiststraße, and on the right, Xaver Meyer. This is the bibliography used in my presentation and some websites. And right now, I'm thanking you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much for your interesting lecture. It was the first part of this lecture. Now we are coming to the part number 2.